fault that I'm not enough. I don't blame you that the feeling's gone, but I don't know what I'm gonna do without your love. Cause everything I've been dreaming of is crumbling in my fucking arms. And I'm panicking to get it back. She cut me off, no strings attached. Gandalf, she said I shall not pass. I hide my feelings with a mask. Should've known that nothing's ever really built to last. At least not for me. Can somebody show me just what is wrong with me? But maybe that's just all in my head. Cause I thought that I'd be yours for forever. Now you understand why I can't close my eyes. Your best friend said you left for the better. Super glad you're great, but hurts on the inside. It's all in my mind, it's all in my head. The more that I talk, the more you're away. And I thank God I know you're gonna be okay. I drown in Patron, got lost in the rain. And you're so cold, left the homies stranded in the North Pole. I make plans, you know, show, but I always come back like yo-yo. Said the kids these days, they just tryna fuck. Henny in my hand, trip laying in the mud. There goes Hack, always falling in love. It's the same damn song that goes on and on and on. I thought that I'd be yours for forever. Now you understand why I can't close my eyes. Your best friend said you left for the better. Super glad you're great, but hurts on the inside. I thought that I'd be yours for forever. Now you understand why I can't close my eyes. Your best friend said you left for the better. Super glad you're great, but hurts on the inside. Yeah. See you. With love.
What's up, everyone? How we doing today? It's October 2nd. Dave and Alex are here. Alex Cuesta Show. If you watched our show right before, we had Eric Haight on, the Republican elections commissioner for Dutchess County over here. We appreciate you watching and jumping back in and saying hello to us here. We're back doing our little show where we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about for a little bit. And we appreciate it wherever you're watching, on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, all those spots. Thank you for watching. Give us a subscription, a like, all that good stuff wherever you are. I'm not going to preamble it again because why would I? Because you're here and we appreciate it. So yes, Nate, we get the double show. We'll give you a hell yeah. We got it. We got you.
Hell yeah.
There you go. We hope we gave you a good Stone Cold impression there. If not, you can tell us we suck. So, going to do my preamble. I do every show. Last show, or earlier today, I talked about the Epstein client list, and I'm going to do it again, but I'll go into a little more depth. Rich and powerful people were raping girls on an island. What else do we need to fucking know? Let's get these people out in the light, okay? Keep shouting it to the rooftops. Make sure that if you're around and you're talking to somebody, bring it up. Bring it up more than politics, because this is something that should be unifying. It should be unifying that we want to know which rich and powerful people were raping girls on an island, and underage girls more than likely and usually. So yeah, this needs to be out to the high heavens. Our standing invite to Alex Jones is always there now to come on, since he is being silenced. A good way, if you follow anybody or you go on you frequent other shows, and if you're a person that super chats, we would appreciate you throwing up a super chat there to let them know, especially if Alex is there, that the Alex Cuesta Show is a cool place and everyone should come and hang out and people should come on our show. So we would love that. And if the chat could outreach, we're a network here, we're a unit. $1 for Moms for Liberty. Everybody should go do that. Especially if you're a Trump voter. If you give just $1, and every single person that's going to vote for Trump gives just $1 to Moms for Liberty, then they will have millions in their coffers to fight the fight, to get DEI, to get woke shit out of schools. And we need that, because our kids are the most important thing. And if they are getting a terrible public education, because a lot of parents can't afford to homeschool, and there's a whole entire diatribe. I'll go on that in the future. But a lot of parents can't afford to. They need to work. So in order to do that, we need to have people, and we need to help people that are fighting to fix the public schools. And lastly, Hurricane Helene has destroyed a ton of the South, a bunch of parts in North Carolina. Asheville absolutely got fucked up with that dam breaking. Whatever you can give to an organization. My preferred organization is Mercury One. Go to mercury1.org to give. This is another thing where if you can give $1, that's huge. Okay. You don't have to give a ton. Give whatever you can. It all helps. And if everyone that listens to any conservative show gives $1, or any show that's promoting something like this gives $1 to that cause, we can help a ton of people out there. Because Dave, FEMA is like just getting out there.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
They fucking
If you
suck.
look at what FEMA actually, well, what a lot of government agencies now have their priorities on is mainly DEI, mainly migrants, immigrants, whatever. They give more money to that kind of cause than to actually doing what their proposed
It's on
role
FEMA's
is as an
website.
agency. Yeah,
It's on FEMA's website. The equity and all that type of shit is their main cause. So, but don't give to FEMA. FEMA can go fuck themselves. We give our tax dollars to them anyway, and they're useless. Give to an organization like a Mercury One. There's plenty of other ones. There's partners that work with them. I don't know them all, but Mercury One's the one that I know. Glenn Beck's one. I know the work that they do. They were in Lahaina. They were in East Palestine. They are already on the ground over in all these hurricane ravaged sites. So give to somebody there. Got to give a shout out to Stuttering Craig and Blabs over on Side Scrollers. They're on vacation, and this makes sense that they would reach over 100,000 YouTube subscribers on vacation. They're going to get their little YouTube coin, because I'm convinced it's a fucking coin by now. They keep on shrinking them. But congrats to them, the normal men over there that helped. I'm a normal man. I'm a subscriber as well there. So shout out to them. They deserve it. It's a long time coming. They've gotten to 100K. And it's only going to continue to grow because they do great work. And if you want to hear Stuttering Craig, go listen to the show last Wednesday. Stuttering Craig was on with us. So definitely big shout out to them. They're freaking awesome. All right. So let's get into the fun stuff, Dave. Our big opening topic. Something that we may all feel coming soon.
we're going to.
We're
going to feel it.
We are going to feel it. So port workers up and down the eastern seaboard from Maine all the way down to the Gulf have gone on strike. They want a new contract. They want a new 6-year working contract. And there has been negotiations going on. And I have an article here that it's from the BBC from a few days ago, but it does a pretty good job outlining what they want. And then Dave is going to give us the lovely union leader after that to talk about how much of a class act that motherfucker is. So let's jump in real quick. So first shutdown in 50 years. Now, I'll tell you this. You're not going to feel this yet, okay? You will feel this in about a week or two if this isn't resolved. Because in a week or two, the Western ports are still running. So we're going to get something coming in. But what's going on right now, buses, trains, anything like that are not going to the ports. They're not picking things up, and they are not dropping them off because they do not want to be stuck with shit like they were during COVID. And the supply chain is already starting to stall. Now, let's scroll through this. So this is pre the actual, the strike happened. Joe Biden right now has the power to end this strike. He's not doing it. The president has the power to suspend the strike for 80 days for further negotiations. And the reason why they could do that is because it's considered a national emergency, a national thing. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. And the reason why he's not doing it is real fucking simple. He's playing politics with your life, with your lives, because he is banking that he's trying to keep Kamala Harris. And this isn't Biden, to be quite honest. This is Kamala. She's trying to bank that by backing the union workers, she can continue to get their vote. And in that process, she's fucking with all of us. And she's going to make your life harder in the next few weeks. So let's go down here. So they're fighting over a 6-year master contract that covers about 25,000 port worker employees in container and roll-on, roll-off operations, according to the U.S. Maritime Alliance known as USMX, which represents the shipping firms, port associations, and marine terminal operators. So what they want is on Monday, this was on Monday, that organization had increased its offer, which would raise wages by almost 50%, triple employers' contributions to pension plans, and strengthen healthcare options. But union boss Harold Daggett has called for more significant pay increases than 50 fucking percent. Okay. I was a part of a union, okay, for a construction worker for a little while. I will tell you, there is conversations. You always want more, and you are guaranteed a raise every time you go back in negotiation. You don't go in there for nothing, right? But you need to be smart when you're going in. And you don't want to do something called pricing yourself out as a union worker, because if your wages are too high, if your pension's too high, if your package, because they call it an overall package, your wages, your pensions, if you have an annuity, whatever you have in there that you roll into your package, that is what the employer pays. The employer doesn't pay what goes in your pocket. If you're making $30, $40 an hour in the pocket, that doesn't account for your healthcare plan that they have to pay for, doesn't account for your potential annuity and your pension. So if you're at $40, you're probably looking at like an $85, $80 package overall. So the employee is paying the employer is now paying every employee the package price. So you're getting paid 80 to 85, 70, whatever it is, dollars an hour, not what's going in your pocket. So just realize that when you're reading articles about the price in the pocket, that isn't the total package that employers have to pay. So that's number one. So when you're reading all the shit that they're talking about, number one there. Number two, this is how unions start to lose to non-unions. Okay? Because if you start to ask for all of these increases, then either they're going to do what Nate over here says, that they're gone automated a lot, because the unions have done this before, bringing on the more robots. They automate, or they bring in non-union, because the non-union, they're just paying the pocket and maybe some healthcare. And the healthcare a lot of times is provided by the employers, and they just build it into what that asking price is, and it's always significantly lower. And even in what's called prevailing wage work, where those non-union guys have to be paid the prevailing wage. So the prevailing wage is $35 an hour. They get paid the wage, but they don't get the pension in the pocket. They don't get the annuity. They don't get all the healthcare rolled in at that point. So that's all on the employer to pay that of a non-union. So this is how the unions lose. They price themselves the fuck out. And it's by greedy bosses like Harold Daggett that are demanding this shit, that are convincing their individuals that this is better. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some fair unions, and this is a conversation that goes on in union meetings. Do we ask for more at the negotiating table? What are we going to ask for? Do we want a little more in the pocket? Do we want a little more in our pension? Do we sit tight this time? Because sometimes goodwill goes both ways. Obviously, they've done this before, and they're fucking doing it. And then Nate coming in again. Big investments in the automation of railways. Unions there too. And the unions are there to protect the workers. And they do sometimes do good things. But it's things like this that, you know what? In the end, the workers are going to, quote unquote, win this. But like Nate says, they're going to go automated where they can. And it's going to cause them to hire less. And they're also going to go non-union. And they're just going to pay prevailing wage, because usually the way that the employees of shipyards, things like that, will get around it is they'll put in prevailing wage language, so that at least they'll have to pay a prevailing wage at certain spots for certain amounts of money with things. So let's keep going here. So Mr. Daggett has indicated the union wants to see per hour pay increase of $5 per year over the life of a 6-year deal, which he estimated around to be about 10% per year. The cost of living upgrade is 3% usually, and then you usually make a percentage or two on top of that, and that ends up being a pretty big chunk. 10%. So just think of it this way. You make $100,000 a year. 10% of that is $10K. And then if you make $110,000 a year, 10% of that now becomes not just 10K, it is now 11K. And you add that. So they're asking for it to be more and more and more every single year. It becomes untenable to pay these people that. So It's so the ILA, which what the fuck is the ILA? I don't care what the ILA is. The ILA said the workers are owed after shipping firm profits soared during COVID pandemic while inflation hits salaries. It is warned to expect a wider strike of its members, including those not directly involved in this dispute, though the exact numbers are unclear. The union has said it represents 85,000 people. It claims about 47,000 active members in its annual labor department. So what they are saying is that because the fucking dock shut down and lost money, that when they came back, they made a boom. And that because the people that they're fucking voting for, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, caused inflation, that now the employer should have to pay that. It's wild. Dave, do you have anything to say so far?
His last name is very fitting.
Daggett.
Yeah. It makes me laugh every time I hear it.
It's insane. It is insane. So the economic impact over here, more than a third of the exports and imports could be affected by the strike, hitting U.S. economic growth at a tune of $4.5 billion each week of the strike. This is according, to Grace Simmer, an associate U.S. economist at Oxford Economics. Though others have estimated the economic hit could be higher. So this is a friendly estimate by the BBC. She said more than 100,000 people could find themselves temporarily out of work as the impact of the stoppage spread. So that's another thing that they don't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
They are asking their members to not work. And in the unions, if you don't work, you don't get paid. It's one of those jobs. There is no sick days. There is no off days. You don't cross the picket line because then you get blackballed. Now, the people that work year round, now, I don't know how the shipyard union works, okay? I don't know if they have, I'd imagine such a big union probably has a hiring hall. And they probably has some forced layoffs where you have to take certain time off. With unions that big, typically they have some structure like that. I don't know if anyone knows more structure about their type of union, please let me know in the chat. But usually it works that way. And usually you have people that are company guys that work 24/7. They don't give a shit about this strike, because they banked money in the pocket, and usually you get what's called union credits towards your pension. And guys will sit there and say, a lot of unions only let you get 1 credit a year. They don't let you get unlimited, and it's per hours. You dock a certain number of a percentage of a credit, and a certain number of hours gets you 1. A lot of guys that I've known that can only get 1 credit hour will work until they get that credit, and then they'll go take vacation. They'll leave. So for those type of guys, this doesn't affect them. But your new people starting out, it's going to fucking crush them. Your apprentices trying to get in, it's going to fucking crush them. And for your workers that maybe don't work as much for whatever circumstance, now they're looking at no paychecks again. So where these union leaders always go wrong is they say they're fighting for everyone, but they don't give a shit about who it hurts. And then we saw the same thing about the SAG and everything when they were striking. All the rich fucking millionaire actors didn't care, but all the other people were getting destroyed, and a lot of them left the business. And that's how it usually works. You leave the business, and then you lose a big chunk of your people that can work. So how does this affect the election? Now, this is where it really comes. I don't actually give a fuck about this article, okay? I'm not going to care about them because they're retarded. The way it works here, they're playing politics. And I even think they say it in this article, and it says that Mr. Daggett endorsed Biden in 2020, but he met with Donald Trump. And I don't know if he's thinking that Trump is going to be friendly to him, but they're playing politics here. Because by Joe Biden, Kamala Harris not doing the 80-day stall to kind of force negotiations there and getting everyone back to work for those 80 days, that's what it would do. Everyone goes back to work for those 80 days while they hit the table hard to negotiate. And that usually is looked at as a sign of they are backing the workers, not the workers. They're backing the employers to keep money flowing. And that usually pisses off the union workers when things like that happen. George W. Bush did it. And again, that shows they're playing politics here and thinking that by not doing that, it's going to get the union worker on their side. If you are a union worker, please don't fall for this. It's going to hurt you. Okay? Because again, like Nate said, they're going to go more automated. And I'm telling you, they're going to hire non-union because you guys are going to price yourselves the fuck out. Do not let assholes like Mr. Daggett speak for you. Okay? It's crazy. So they use these strikes to try and get the employers to come to the table and do what they want. Now, Dave, I'm getting this out of here. You have lovely Mr. Daggett in all of
Yes.
his glory.
Yes. So this video has gone out regarding these port strikes, and this is Mr. Daggett being interviewed about it. There's a 1 minute 40 seconds, but it's very important to hear him because, I mean, I'm going to frame this before he starts talking, but I think it's a fair framing. He sounds like a mob boss. So it's going to be.
Would you be surprised if he is?
Yeah, I mean, look at his shirt, a force to be reckoned with right there. So it's.
And I'll couch it as this too. We've seen violence in Baltimore already. With people getting into fights at the docks. We've seen the impact of the docks already with some things coming to blows about people wanting to cross and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hear this right now.
Yep.
Let me explain something to you. These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
So it almost seems like he is trying his hardest to make them look as bad as fucking possible. You couldn't do worse PR for anyone than doing and saying shit like that. Because that's just bad. That's just really bad. It makes you hate every single person involved in the strike, him especially.
Yeah.
And it makes you just say, okay, fuck it. Just get robots to do it. We don't fucking need you there. We would rather have an economy move than listen to that guy ever speak again about anything like that. Especially because this guy who is threatening to cripple the economy, to cripple your jobs, has a huge mansion with a Bentley, 5-car garage, and a guest house. This guy has absolutely destroyed everyone who he supposedly represents. It's incredible what you do when you go out and you say the dumbest shit possible.
And he doesn't care. He doesn't care who
care.
loses their livelihoods because of this.
No,
and the thing is,
especially because the whole strike, yet again, we said this, I think, last night, is short-term thinking on what you're actually doing. No, a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But it's short-term thinking on what you're actually doing. Because like you said, they'll eventually go non-union. They'll get more automation. You might win this for a small time, but for an ever-growing, shrinking supply of people to actually make money. And then you're just going to lose out eventually completely instead of trying to figure out an actual long-term solution on this shit. And it's so fucking annoying. And this is why people are starting to hate unions more and more and more because of shit like this.
That fucking guy is just pure evil too. Like in the end, he is just an evil person because you hear about all the rambling off and he's saying it proudly. All the places that are going to be fucked, all the people's lives that are going to be affected, everything that's going to be crippled because he's a whiny fucking baby.
Yep.
And here's the thing. We're only getting one side. I don't know what the companies are saying. I don't know what the negotiation table is like. It could be Mr. Daggett being super frustrated because they might be being fucking scumbags. Okay. Like I'll give him a slight benefit.
No, I don't. No, no, no,
I will
no.
give him a slight one. You might, but
I
will
could
give him
give
a
you the
slight one.
benefit if there's a leak of what he said. You coming out and doing that,
It
that's
makes you look like an asshole.
automatically making me take the company's side.
Yeah,
He can go fuck himself at this point.
Yeah, it's not
Because
their
you don't come out and say that. You don't come out and say, I'm going to cause an even worse recession, even worse times for people
Yeah.
just because I want to bitch. Even if you are frustrated. You're a fucking boss. You got to be better than that. That's ridiculous. Yeah, no, I'm taking
And
the
like you
company's side
said,
on this because
he is a mob boss.
Yeah.
You could tell the guy. And here's the thing: it's not a secret that a lot of these union leaders are still connected in some way. And in the end, all the things they're asking for, they're not going to get the full things they're asking for. They're going to come to the table. They're going to settle a little bit. It's posturing right now. It's talking tough. And he made it sound like he's not scared of the go back to work thing, which we need it. Kamala and Biden, do your fucking job for once. For once
They're not
in
going
your
to.
administration. Do your fucking job, okay? For at once, one time, give a shit about people and not try to hurt them. Because you know something too? Well, this is the dumbest thing. You can keep your fucking 45,000 union workers at the longshoremen, okay? Everyone else is going to look at this and they, in the next 2 weeks, if this strike goes on and we all start to suffer, there is no denying this is not Donald Trump's fault. And there is almost no way you can spin this.
You say that. You say that.
How can you?
You
spin
know
this
they
one?
will try.
They will. They will. But it's like, this is kind of one of those things where this is what I normally don't fight online on Facebook. This is where you do tell the boomers on Facebook that are sharing memes, you're fucking stupid. Biden could have fixed this. And you just quite literally word it like that. You are fucking stupid. Because anyone that is going to post after this in 2 weeks, when we start to see milk again rise to like $7-8 an hour, $7-8 a fucking gallon.
Might be at this point.
It might be an hour. Yeah, you got to drink it quick. $7-8 a gallon, and all like the stuff. It is crazy. Make more shit in the country. Yeah, Nate, if they liked America, Nate, they would encourage that. And this is the thing: Donald Trump isn't perfect. He's not a perfect candidate. JD Vance isn't perfect, even though he's pretty fucking close to it last night. They are significantly better than evil. Okay? Because if you, as sitting in the White House as Kamala and Joe Biden and Jill, because Joe is just a corpse.
I was gonna say Joe's probably actually laying down most of the time.
If you can sit there, walk around and look at this and go, we got to do this for politics, then you're an evil person. And here's the thing too. And people may disagree with me. A functioning Joe Brain Biden does the 80-day stay. Because Joe Biden knows political optics are more important than 45,000 fucking people, or even 80,000 people in the voting electorate in the whole Eastern Seaboard. He's not an idiot, where Kamala and their campaign are fucking stupid. And like you said, so short-sighted that they would rather make millions suffer and save 80,000 votes, which aren't even all going to go your way. A ton of union workers are on the right. So maybe half the votes, you're looking at 40K votes, that you would rather get 40K votes than millions of people that might turn on you. You know, Trump talks about winning New York. Trump talks about winning all these places. You may help him make it a reality if you don't put a stop to this. So listen, I don't give a shit about Kamala Harris. I don't want her to win. But I don't want to see my prices in New York, your prices in West Virginia fucking skyrocket on common things because they're assholes playing politics. So this is insane. Dave, do you have any last things to say before we move on? Because this annoys me.
No, I was already mad at him. It's already enough there.
What a fucking piece of shit. So let's go to something fun, Dave. Let's talk about Nintendo.
Yes. So just today, actually,
Yes.
the Nintendo Museum has opened up.
Yay.
Now, if you have not heard of this, it is a genuine from Nintendo museum. They took an old factory in Japan and they made this big ass museum that you can go and play around in. You can see all this stuff from Nintendo and it looks fucking awesome. it looks actually incredible.
So real quick, Dave, Nate just commented, the Biden administration bailed out a ton of failing unions and busted the railroad strike. Interested to see what they do. They're playing politics right now, Nate, and it's not the Biden administration. It's the Harris administration, and she's trying to win, and that's all they're doing. We'll see what they can do. Hopefully she gets her head out of her ass, but that means she has to have a brain. She doesn't do. She doesn't. She remember, she was born that way. Trump told her she was born an idiot.
Yeah. And this article just goes over a whole bunch of the
I love that
museum
fucking
stuff.
GameCube controller. That's
Yeah, and
sick.
it has a whole bunch of pictures of the things that they have in there. But
Nice.
NPR also took a video because some people were able to get a sneak peek.
But did
at-
they narrate it like this when they were showing you the
Not
video?
when I
that
was listening. I
in
actually didn't do
Nintendo,
that.
you could potentially do this. Let's listen, Dave, to put the
Kyoto doesn't open to the public until October 2nd,
Whoa!
but NPR
Whoa,
and
get
other
a little bit.
media and influencers are being given a sneak peek today. This company, Nintendo, got its start
Eyes
in
are so
Kyoto
wide,
in
he's trying to make
1889, making
working
Japanese
to make this
Hanafuda
voice.
playing cards.
I feel like it's an amazing opportunity to be here even before it opens to the public. And as a big fan of Nintendo, I'm just excited to be here. You can see that they put in not only a lot of effort, but a lot of love into the Nintendo Museum.
Anyone who grew up playing any type of Nintendo game or console, or anyone who had that in their childhood, they would definitely become emotional having a look at everything here. It's just like, it just reminds me of good times.
派手なアトラクションとかそういう楽しみ方ではなくて京都的なおもてなしの空間がどういうふうに設計されているのか、そういう日本の文化のエンターテインメントミュージアムという感覚でミュージアムを楽しんでもらえるといいんじゃないかなと思います。
So you could see a bunch of the stuff that they have in that video, but I also have the exhibits pulled up here to go through. So they have this floor to play around with, and you get a smart device, and you can go around and collect cards and just
fucking sweet.
walk around the floor. AR type of thing. Looks like a lot of fun. This is probably incredible.
Yeah.
You either get a zapper or the super scope, and then you can go in. You have to shoot Goombas and Koopa Troopas and Boos and all that stuff, which looks incredible. It looks like a ton of fun. I wonder if it actually works well.
It probably does. They're not.
It probably
Nintendo is
works
not
great.
going to half-ass that.
Yeah.
But that's one thing we know about
Yeah.
Nintendo. They would not have released this if they didn't know it was
Yeah.
going to do good.
They have the Ultra Machine. It's a reproduction of the original one, and you can just get into that little booth. You can hit the ball that gets pitched at you. There's some fastballs and curveballs coming at you.
Oh, real
And
quick.
What?
2 hours ago, Reuters reported U.S. port workers union backed by White House in strike. So this is going on, and it's in Tokyo, mate. This is going to go on.
Yeah.
This is going to hurt you. They have drawn their line in
Of
the
course,
sand.
of course.
Biden presses port employers, saying it's time for them to bargain.
Yeah.
No talk scheduled in port strike. Listen, Governor Hochul, that fucking idiot from New York, came out and said, "Don't go run to the grocery store and load up." Anyone that listening to the show right
You
now,
might have. You probably have to.
don't go to grocery store. Go to BJ's. Go to Costco. Go to Sam's Club.
Go to
Get
Aldi.
shit in bulk. Get it now.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you start feeling it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Don't wait until supplies start getting low. Honestly, go buy every fucking piece of toilet paper you can find because that was insane during COVID. But get items. Go get them. Go be prepared. Sorry, Dave. Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, but you can hit the ball that's coming at you. When it hits something in the room, something special happens.
It's pretty
So
sweet.
that's pretty cool. You get
Yeah.
to interact with that. Ultra Hand SP, where you have to use a little extractor to go and pick up a ball and then place it in a pipe. Something different happens for each one. Yet again, this looks like a lot of fun. Love Tester SP, where it's a 2-player game and you hold hands and it tests your love for each other.
That's fucking hilarious.
And it gives you a love level at the end of it, which I wonder how that's going to work
mean,
for some couples.
Honey, I'm not holding your hand. I love you, Jewel. We're not doing this. I love you. I don't need a game. I don't need a video game to tell me that I love you.
Game
hit
and
me
Watch
afterwards.
SP. So they just blew up the screen for Game and Watch, and you can play a couple Game and Watch games with your shadow,
Ooh.
which is really fucking sweet.
Game and Watch is a shadow. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh.
I think that's really cool. That's really innovative at that point. You get some Nintendo classics. They have game systems set up, the NES, the SNES, and Nintendo 64. And they have a bunch of games that are on the Switch already, the old ones that are on the Switch already, but you can
Really
have some
sweet.
time to go ahead and play them with the original controllers in your hands, which is awesome, especially for someone younger like this girl right here who might not have ever touched an NES controller to actually feel what it used to be like to play with those types of games. And then they have the big controller, which is 2-player. So one person controls the directional pad, one person controls the B and the A buttons, and you get to play Mario and other types of games with the big controller as a 2-player experience, which that I would love to do that
That's really cool.
with, because that would be hilarious. But the whole thing looks like so much fun.
It does.
And they have so much stuff in there that, and there's probably things that they haven't even shown us yet. They have a cafe where there's only minimal pictures. You don't see a ton, but the menu apparently rotates, and they're just going to have so many Nintendo themed things in there that look incredible. And I would love to go at some point.
So how long until Side Scrollers does a live from there?
They should.
You know, Craig is such a Nintendo fanboy. They're going to. And listen, if it ends up being pretty solid, I hope as many of the gaming channels go and try and do something from there, because I'll be pretty sick to give them credit, because out of all the companies and the console like wars and stuff that deserve it is Nintendo. They've stayed true. They've cared about their fans. They've cared about their IP, sometimes to a fault, but fantastic.
Yeah. And the thing is that Nintendo is a company that can really do this to the best degree because they have the recognition of their.
Dave, I don't know if you remember this, but I fucking remember this.
Not in the NES. I had the GameCube port that you could play Game Boy Advance games on the GameCube.
Yes, it was different.
That's what I had.
They,
I didn't have that in the SNES.
They
but
did
same
this a
similar
lot. Say, yeah, they like doing this stuff for people.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Nintendo has the recognition. They have characters and things that you recognize. Every single piece of their hardware, all the controllers that they have are so recognizable.
Yeah.
They're all different from each other. So Nintendo can open this up and everything can be such a joy to go and do it at Nintendo, because weirdly enough, even though Nintendo doesn't always seem like it, they're the ones that innovate probably the most in gaming whenever they come out with something different. They came out with the Wii, that made PlayStation do the Move, that made Xbox do the Kinect. And that, I mean, they couldn't really follow the Wii. They made things very difficult for gaming companies at that point, because the Wii was a smash hit and everything else is falling off a cliff because you tried to follow them. But Nintendo likes to innovate. This is something that they have the possibility to do. In fact, I think Miyamoto said that he's going to have new employees go to the Nintendo Museum and learn the Nintendo history before they actually really start working there.
I love that,
because they have to understand what Nintendo is about before they work there, that's what you got to do as a company like Nintendo. And like you said, they're sometimes too much of a shark on what they do, especially with their IPs.
Yes.
You want them to kind of get up to like where we're at, especially with live streaming. They've been better recent with their games being live streamed and stuff now, but you still want them to be a little bit caught up in modernity, but also that's kind of how they keep their things flowing. So sometimes it's just like, you know what, Nintendo's going to be Nintendo. And if that's what they got to do to keep pumping out Game of the Years for Mario and Zelda, then I'm not too mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see that Nintendo is just continuing to bring this new stuff. And it's like, this is something, again, Sony and Microsoft Xbox could dream of doing something like this, right? Like they can't.
Mm-hmm.
They could do minor exhibits, right? Like Xbox could certainly just do like a Halo space. Like that would be dope. Even though the show sucks, they would have to forget about that. But like they can create a Halo themed space, but they don't have enough like IP. Like Gears is great, but it kind of fizzled, right? It's not like you're not going to create a Gears thing. PlayStation, not really going to do Crash. Crash isn't going to move that needle. Spyro's not. Uncharted, like they're not going to move that needle in this.
It wouldn't make money. It wouldn't be enough.
And Nintendo just has, like you said, so many recognizable things where you could walk around and it's like, oh, we can go do something from Kirby. We can go do something from Zelda. We can go do something from Donkey Kong. And you just rattle off all of these Metroid, and they're so varied too that like you have so much fun with that. And that's also why like Nintendo World will be a success with like when their theme parks and stuff like that too. So you have all these things that are fantastic going for them, and I'd love to see Nintendo they just Keep doing it. Keep chugging.
Yeah.
And
And this is happening now before whatever the next Switch console is, because I think
Yeah.
it is another Switch,
Yes.
and this is happening before the next
Yep.
console comes out, which is probably going to be another huge hit because of how big the Switch has been.
And in the end, like my prediction is down the road, whether it's like another 20 years, whatever, 10 years, the only console left is going to be a Nintendo console. I feel like
Probably.
Sony is going to go the route of maybe Sony's, because here's the thing, Microsoft doesn't lose. When the Xbox is out, they own the PC realm anyway, right?
Mhm.
The thing I could do is seeing Sony creating their own OS and just going the PC route and making competitive Sony OS PCs, gaming PCs, because they're getting closer and closer anyway with their graphic chips, right? Like the
Mhm.
PlayStation 5 is just like a lower level PC at this point. It's a bargain PC. So Nintendo keeps separating themselves, and I don't think anyone wants to see their characters on PC. Like it wouldn't be right to do it on PC. I don't know. I would not want.
Well, the thing is that now the console wars are over.
Yes.
The console wars are over. Microsoft and PlayStation, we can do cross-gen. They're completely done. Microsoft's basically out of console
They
wars.
waved the flag out.
Yeah, they basically admitted that they lost. So, and Nintendo's, in all intents and purposes, Nintendo's kind of won the console wars. It's hilarious because they shouldn't have, at least from where they started.
Only
but they
won
did.
against with the next gen console wars, but
Yeah.
Nintendo won overall.
Yeah, exactly. But the console wars are over. So
This is crazy to
Yes.
me. Switch is
Yeah.
so clutch for work Zoom meetings. Who
Yep.
would have thought that people would use a Switch for a work Zoom? Like that's fucking
well,
crazy.
no. He probably means like the Zoom meeting's happening. He's playing the Switch while he's
Oh.
fucking off camera or something. But which I would do 100%. But
Makes more sense.
yeah, but that's the thing though, is that since the console wars are over, the last physical will probably be Nintendo. And because they've just been so stable as what they are and their identity as a company, because Nintendo really hasn't changed very much
No.
since the inception of them making consoles.
graphics are
and
the
doing
same.
things like that. Well, that, close enough in some aspects.
Some of them are.
Yeah, but it's just incredible to watch happen, especially where gaming is right now and where some companies are in gaming right now. So I love it. I can't wait to see more from Nintendo, even though sometimes they're not the greatest. But
You take
at
the
least
good
they
with the
have
bad.
fun.
You take the good
Exactly.
with the bad. So
Yeah.
Nintendo, thank you. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing, but stop fucking with emulators.
You said you
Only
played my
question.
Switch on Zoom meetings.
Yeah,
Yes, 100%.
All right, so we're gonna stay with another happy, wonky-ish type of story here. I found this, Dave. I think it's fucking hilarious, and sharing it is fantastic. Let's see, boom. So, this is from The Guardian. A U.S. man, 81 years old, sentenced to 6 months for creating giant hybrid sheep for hunting. So, Arthur Schubarth of Montana, he used the tissue and testicles of Marco Polo sheep to clone an animal and create a hybrid. Now, this hybrid was eventually called, where's the name of it? It's a pretty, the Montana Mountain King. It's a pretty fucking badass name.
That's incredible. That's an incredible name. What the fuck?
Great name. So we cloned these sheep to make hunting more better. Now, these apparently, let me scroll down. The Marco Polo sheep were popular hunting, and I think it's in Kazakhstan. And I forget what year it said. I hope I'm not making up Kazakhstan. I can be an idiot at times, which is every time. There it is. Kyrgyzstan. I was wrong. Not Kazakhstan. Kyrgyzstan in 2013.
Thinking of Borat.
I'm thinking of Borat. Oh, Kazakhstan. But so yeah, he wanted to make some badass sheep that he could basically sell and hunt. It's funny because it says the U.S. District Court Judge Brian Morris said he struggled to come up with the sentence for Arthur Jack Schubarth of Montana, Vaughan, Montana. He said he weighed the Schubarth's age and lack of criminal record with the sentence that would deter anyone else from trying to change the genetic makeup of the creatures on Earth. So hold on one second. Hold on one second. Why can't this regular Tom, Dick, and Harry do it? But we can let fucking scientists play God all the time. But this guy's innovative. He took some tissue and some sack and was like, boom, put it together, make something new. And then he called it the Montana Mountain King. Like, this guy needs to only fucking call
I
it.
love this guy. The fact that he was able to pull that off is incredible.
At 81 years old. And here's the thing. It's not like this guy is like just some weirdo. because he owns Sun River Enterprises, a 215-acre alternative livestock ranch, buys,
Holy
sells, and
shit.
breeds alternative livestock, quote unquote, such as mountain sheep, mountain goats, ungulates. I don't know what the fuck that is. And primarily for private hunting preserves where people shoot captive trophy game for a fee. That's what the prosecutor said. He's been in the game farm business since 1987. So he's just trying to up his game. That's all it is. He's just trying to add more flavor. And he sat there and he looked at these sheep, I guess. Go look up what a Marco Polo sheep looks like.
All right.
And then find out what these things, what they're hunting. And then find out what the Mountain King fucking looks like. Because I think I want a Mountain King. Can we get this guy? Can we start a GoFundMe? So pay this guy's fines and then just pay for him to do more and say fuck that judge, because that sounds awesome. Did you find what that guy? And yeah, and then
Is it Montana Mountain King?
Mountain King is the name of the one that he created, and the
don't know if
Marco
there's a
Polo sheep is the one that he used to create a clone.
So here are the Marco Polo sheep. They're pretty fucking big.
Yeah, holy fuck.
Yeah, that's why they're hunted. Like, look at this.
Wow.
Look at the size of this thing. They're pretty fucking
That
big.
would make sense why there would be like a game hunt, like a trophy hunt. And you
Now
can't find the Montana Mountain King?
I don't. It's not specified. That's the issue. I don't know exactly what it looks like.
That's fine.
This
If you can't find it, that's okay.
Yeah, keep going. I'm gonna keep looking.
What I do want you to look up though, because I don't know what the fuck these are. It's here. I'll highlight it if I can find it. Right here, Dave. The ungulates. Ungulates. What the hell is it? Ungulate. Are they cool looking?
Oh, it's bisons and shit like that.
Okay. Okay. So it's a species of them. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It covers sheep, deer, goat, pronghorn, elk, bison.
So basically things with horns that
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So that makes sense. So I think we should so his fine, let's see, it said what number his fine was. He's ordered $20,000 in order to make a $4,000 payment to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Foundation. Fuck that. What the fuck should I pay those assholes? What do they do? What do they do? No. I would be like, the fine is whatever. I'd say no.
They didn't have a picture of the Mountain King, but I did see this AI picture, which I fucking love.
Is that a picture of him fucking just playing with testicles and
Yeah, him making this big fucking boy
that
right
might
here.
have to be our fucking that might have to be our tab.
Yeah.
Him Dr. Moreauing a fucking sheep. A mountain. But just to name it the Montana Mountain King, like
It's a great name.
it's a great
It's a fantastic
he
name.
should have been let off just off that. So, here we go. Marco Polo sheep are the largest in the world, can weigh up to 300 pounds, and they have curled horns up to 5 feet long.
Yeah,
That's badass. So, I love this guy. I guess his nickname is Jack. Jack Schubarth. You're a real American.
You're a good man.
You're
You're a good man.
And I'm hoping that they don't actually send this guy to federal prison.
He better not go to prison.
Holden,
He better not go to prison.
his attorney is they said it somewhere. His last name's Holden.
Holden.
Yeah.
Like Judge Holden? That's not good.
No, not Judge Holden. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, his attorney. I
I
can't
don't even think you know that reference.
No. Jason Holden is his attorney. He's seeking a probationary sentence. Argued that Schubarth was a hardworking man and has always cared for animals and did something that no one else could have done in cloning a giant sheep, which he named the Montana Mountain King. Like, that's fucking fantastic. The animal was confiscated by the U.S. Fish. So they took his creation. Then he has to pay them? No. You already got paid.
This is what radicalizes people.
You took something badass.
This is the type of shit that gets the Killdozer to be made. Like, this is what
Like
the guy's just trying to make a cool animal, and you're gonna put him in jail over it.
You stole my shit. You want to put me in jail, and then you want me to pay $4,000 to the same people that took my shit? No. And they're gonna transfer it to a zoo? Just give it back to the guy. Just be like, hey, don't let people shoot this fucking thing. I would give it back to him. He made it. He probably named it too. If I'm a judge, if you named him, but he probably named them. If I'm that judge, I'm saying, hey, Stop it. You're on probation. Here's your animal back because it's awesome. Fuck the U.S. Fish and Wildlife people. They're going to put it in a zoo. What if the zookeepers know what to do? It's not theirs. All right. Fuck the GoFundMe, guys. Let's go find this thing and just go like take this.
I want him on the podcast. I want to talk to this man.
Don't know if an 81-year-old will know how to. He has younger kids though.
He has a lot of money. He obviously has a lot of money. He can find a way.
So let's go on X. So Arthur Schubarth. Let's see if he has an X. X is the.
Well, let's do this after the fact.
Oh, I'm looking up right now. You continue to talk.
Okay. Well, you want to move on to another funny
Yes.
meme? Okay.
Yes.
So what we have here is a recent article that came out today. For some reason, on a podcast with Kelly Ripa, the director for Men in Black decided to out Will Smith as a farter. And he doesn't mean that he just farts all the time. He means that his farts are so ripe that they cleared out the stage for 3 hours. Now, if you have seen Men in Black, you will know what scene he is talking about when the incident, they called it the incident, occurred. And it's when they're in a transforming car that travels at hyper speeds and flips over, most likely either in the tunnel or when they first introduced it. But he said they had to be hermetically sealed in the pod. So him and Tommy Lee Jones are in this car. And there are locks in it, and it's high up because they ask for a ladder to get out after he farts in there. But the director says, roll camera, and Will Smith goes, "Oh, Jesus, so sorry. Tommy, so sorry. Baz, get the ladder." Tommy then says, "That's fine, Will. No worries, Will. Don't worry, Will." The director is confused as hell at this point. He thinks probably there's something worse than what has happened going on. They get the ladder over, they go out, and then he proclaims to Ripa that Will Smith is a farter. And he said, "It's just some people are. And you really don't want to be inside a very small, hermetically sealed space with a Will Smith fart. You don't even want to be sitting next to him at the Disney Ranch." He then concluded with, "We evacuated the stage for about 3 hours, and that's incredible. No, he's, a lovely guy, just he farts. Some do, some don't." For some reason, this is a story, and I just thought it was pretty funny, that Will Smith, who has had, for all intents and purposes, an awful time recently,
He really has had a rough
has now
go.
been outed as a farter that can fart so badly that he clears out a stage for 3 hours.
What if this is why Jada wants nothing to do with him? What if
I highly
what
doubt
if he got so comfortable that they got into the farting phase and his farts are so fucking rank, she's like, "I can never sleep with you again. I can't be around you because of the threat and
No.
the fear of your
I
rank
highly
ass."
doubt it. No, Jada is just a bad person. I'm not giving her any benefit of doubt. I don't care if Will Smith can fart and make a room just unlivable for hours.
That just reminds me of like the talking animals when like he smells inside the mouth and he's like, oh, that's Ronk. I'm gonna have a lay down here.
No, that's bad. I don't know why that came out
That's
today.
called shitting yourself, okay? No farts smell that bad. That is called shitting your pants, and it lingers.
At least Tommy Lee Jones was very nice about it. I'm surprised he was that nice about it. I'd probably be a little angry if it was that bad in a car.
Dusted you?
in a hermetically sealed car. Like, he is stuck in there with Will Smith until it's actually open.
That's okay.
And Will just had to do it then.
That's okay, Will. He's probably just disappointed in him. Like,
Probably. Like, he's probably actually just trying to survive. So
he's like,
knows
he's like,
he has to
he's like,
get out.
he's like, "That's okay, Will.
Yeah.
That's okay, Will. You're okay. You're good. You're good. Just get me the fuck out of here." Oh man. All
rough.
right.
It's rough.
You ready to go back to some blackpilling?
Yeah, sure.
We've had enough fun. We have had enough fun. What do we want to do? Let's no, actually no. Let's do one more white pill. One more white pill. And let's talk about Donald Trump met with President Zelensky. And this is the same day that President Zelensky met with President Biden, and nothing actually happened besides Biden gave him $8 billion, but he just kind of looked at him and said, "I'm the president now." And told him to give him money again. And Biden was like, "Yes, sir. I'll give you some money, sir." And I think that's to the tune of like we got to at least we're damn near over 100 billion giving to them. But then he met with Trump, and it didn't look like Zelensky had as good of a time with Trump as he did with Biden, because we got this beautiful moment where Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck, and with Zelensky right there has this to say.
So we have a very good relationship. And I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it resolved.
I hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have. Oh, I see. Yeah, but you know, it takes two to tango. So
it takes two to tango. Yeah. So disregarding the fact that Zelensky's like, yeah, I hope we have a better relationship, Trump's just like, yeah, shut the fuck up. You have to participate, you asshole. Like, it was all like, it was the sheer balls. This man, like, here's the thing, it's not to simp for Trump, but the size of his sack needs to be examined when he dies, because like, crosses the DMZ with no security detail, and then standing next to a dude has been shaking down your country for the better part of 3.5 years.
A lot of Western countries.
And someone you supported getting in initially, right? Congratulated him, called him, thought it was going to be a good relationship, and, you know, ended up fucking you over with that call. But to then sit there and the guy that's been attacking his country and killing hundreds of thousands of his people to be like, I have a good relationship with that guy too. Yep. And then when he tries to make a joke, he's like, I see what you did there, but it takes two to tango. Like, he like shrugged him off. And honestly, it was a warning shot. It was a warning shot to Zelensky in the nicest way possible, going, if I get in office, enough. You're not getting any more money. This war's ending. You're done. You lost. We're going to get you to admit that you fucking lost, and we're going to end this war. That's all that was. That was a warning shot in the nicest way possible. And you could see just by the posture, Zelensky was not very happy to be there. And I think Trump just sunned him for a whole meeting. And like,
but basically the ride's over because Trump's going to be diplomatic with both him and Putin.
Yeah.
Instead of just mainly him getting all the diplomacy and Putin really getting nothing. So Trump just wants the war to end, so he's going to find any way to get the war to end.
Yeah.
And Zelensky is not very happy about that.
Fucking hilarious. I'm not going to lie. Just the way he's just like standing there next to him, and Zelensky's just not happy at all. All right. Speaking of unhappy people, we are going to go to this article where this kind of has something to do with the topic we had a few days ago. The Ubisoft employees that were mad about the return to work policy, we're now seeing it on Amazon as well. Andy Jassy, who I believe is the CEO there now, put a return to office mandate. And now angry Amazon employees are rage applying for new jobs. Now, this to me is different than the Ubisoft case, because number one, Amazon is significantly larger, has significantly more employees, and stretches across the whole country. Ubisoft isn't small. Don't get me wrong. They're one of the major players in gaming.
But there's differences in size.
Will formally be one of the major players in gaming. The differences here, number one, I can imagine the age demographics differ significantly towards who's working where. I think you're probably going to see a lot more families working in the Amazon area, people trying to support families, where in the Ubisoft area, you have some, but probably a lot more people without kids, without true families in the development space, because they tend to typically be younger or leftist leaning and don't want fucking kids. Okay. So there's just a reality of that. So I give a little more sympathy to the Amazon employee that probably doesn't want to relocate if they have to. And again, it goes back to what we said about the Ubisoft. If they were hired for the remote position, this is fucked up. They should not come in. But if they were hired for warehouse, if they were hired for office space, like they want them. So, Jesus.
Well, they definitely weren't hired for warehouse. Warehouse, you have to be in there.
Yeah, not warehouse, but for the offices. And
yeah, there's definitely office people.
So yeah, it was but it's understandable for the return to work to want to happen. Return to office. Because here's why.
Mhm.
Amazon is paying for that space still. They're still renting out that building. They're still paying for that building. These companies are not going to pay for empty buildings. And the thing is, it's fine. Quit. Quit then. Go find a better paying job and quit. Because the people that want to be there will be there. And one thing that Elon Musk proved is that most of these people are probably expendable. Because there's always 20% of a company that keeps a company going. As long as those 20% show up, everyone else can usually fuck off with all these companies. What do you feel about this, Dave? It's similar, but not at the same time as Ubisoft.
Yeah, no, it's really similar. And I think one of the big things that really goes against when people don't want to go back into the office is the fact of the matter that most of the time the people with the office jobs are making more money than people that have to go in every day anyway. So people that have to go into work every day anyway to make less money than the people in the office job don't have any fucking sympathy for you. It's just like, dude, you have to just go in and sit at a computer like you do at home anyway, and you're still going to make good money. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
The only time where I necessarily care is if you were allowed to move away. There was no time where you were going to be asked to come back, and then you would have to relocate for it. That's the only kind of argument where it's just like, nah, then it's understandable to be a little annoyed about this. But most people that have to go in and work every day don't really have any sympathy for someone that was able to stay home but now has to come back into the office.
Yeah, and again, if you were hired and it was strictly remote and it like you were not hired,
there's a difference there.
If you were hired hybrid though, and you had to go in at some points anyway, fuck off, go to work.
You had to have known it was going to happen.
Go to work. That's number one. If you were hired for a remote position and it was clearly stated that at some point you may have to come back to the office and come to work, go to fucking work or quit. Because, for me, there's a lot of sour grapes. Like right here, this guy, Ben, I was not complying. Non-compliance means you should get fired. Okay.
Yes.
Lives 3 hours away from an Amazon office, comments on the previous hybrid policy. So he wasn't going into work even on a hybrid policy. So here's the thing. The people like Ben, bye. He briefly considered moving before thinking again. I decided not to make life choices as Amazon can fire me at will anyway. And I do not want to make long-term life changes because some manager decided I should start going into the office when I was hired virtual and promised I could work from wherever I want. Now that's different. If that's true and that's in writing, Ben's got a point.
Yep.
And that's the thing that I think a lot of these places are struggling with. But a place like Amazon knows all these people would quit and they're still going to get plenty of employees. The local people there are going to want a good job, a good paying job. They don't get
it could be a bit of a play here to cut off people who they did hire as remote. They could be trying a play there as well. So it could be something that they're just doing there, which would also be annoying and which may really backfire on them if that's what they're doing. I think you have an argument if you were hired remote and there was no description of the possibility of going into the office. I think you have an argument there for maybe something in court. I don't know if it would take it to court or if there would be any kind of way you could get into like a genuine dispute about that. But that's something that they don't want to play with too much.
And they even said a thinly veiled headcount reduction. Honestly, Jassy's just doing the Elon Musk without the fanfare, trimming the fat. Okay. The people that are going to complain about this, and again, listen, if you truly live 3-4 hours away, get a new job. There's, the economy needs it. And it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. And that sucks. But if you're not willing to relocate, and this is a mandate coming down from the CEO, I mean, do you want to retain a lawyer? Do you make enough to retain a lawyer and fight Amazon? And Amazon's banking on that too. Unless enough remote workers want to make a class action and there's a lawyer that wants to represent them. They're pretty much up shit's creek. So again, if Amazon hired a bunch of these people remote and is kind of fucking them over, yeah, that's bad. That's bad on them. But if you were hybrid, if you knew this was going to happen, then that's on you, man. Like, go to work.
Yeah.
So That's my 2 cents there. That we have a bunch of potentially whiny babies or people that actually feel sympathy over it. I don't know, which it could go either way. So, Dave, what do we want to talk about next? Do we want to? Let's see. Let's make fun of John Kerry because John Kerry's a fucking idiot.
Yep.
All right. So, what is John Kerry now? Is he anything?
No. Well, is he still climate czar?
I think he is. Which I have a fucking problem. Real quick, can we talk about this? Why are we calling anybody in America a czar?
Yeah, I know.
That is the dead giveaway that these people are commies. That is a Russian leader's name.
So he's technically the special presidential envoy for climate.
So he's the climate czar.
Yeah.
And that drives me nuts because when I first heard it, and this term started coming around with Obama. I don't remember czars being a thing before Obama, if we're being quite honest. And the only time I heard czar before that, I was confused. I was like, Tsar Nicholas, the leader of Russia at one point?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we calling people in America czars for? Like, spelled the same way too. CZAR.
Yep.
That drives me crazy. I feel like any administration that would call somebody a Russian dictator to go and do something is a red flag. You are telling them that they are allowed to dictate things. They are the leaders. John Kerry can make decisions, it seems. And he is. He states policy. John Kerry goes out there and states policy.
Yep.
Whether or not Biden gives a fuck. Or Kamala, or even, things like that. It's crazy to me to see. But this douchebag was out again. And where was this? He was over at Impact Meetings, World Economic Forum. Surprise, surprise. And this is from ALX has this. And this is a 2 minute and 6 second clip. I cannot speak.
Struggling.
From End Wokeness. Yeah, I know. And let's hear what the great czar has to say.
And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue.
Okay. Real quick, I'm going to stop that there. Let's translate asshole into real speak. Building consensus means getting an accepted narrative. It means we don't have the ability to put Dan Rather on a fucking screen anymore and 90% of the country fully buy into it. We have people that will push back against us, research, and will not be called crazy anymore because they're not the lone person standing out on the street corner yelling. Let's continue, and we'll see if we can continue to unpack bullshit.
It's really hard to govern today. You can't, there's no, the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact have kind of, been eviscerated to a certain degree.
Okay, so the referees, New York Times, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC.
And it makes when people claim, like I also claim now, that the everything that we see now and how biased some people are, it's really been going on for a long fucking time.
Very long.
Him saying that really builds a case for it.
Yep.
Because he's saying it's really hard to govern nowadays because of that. And it just makes it very much seem like, okay, well, we've always been just fed bullshit just so they could govern and gain more power as much as they possibly could.
In the past, the referees would have been David Muir. They would have been your Nora O'Donnells. They would have been your Rachel Maddows.
Yep.
Your Anderson Coopers. That's the referees he's referring to. Let's keep listening to this turd.
And people go and then people self-select where they go for their news or for their information. And then
people self-select. People have options. People have choices. People can use their brain. They don't only have to sit there and hear one thing from everyone.
And you just get into a vicious cycle. So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this. And
I'll stop again right there. 45, 50 years he's been involved in politics. 45, 50 years, this motherfucker has actually not had a job.
Yep.
And what we have been paying this asshole salary for 45, 50 years to try and build narratives that you are Fed. He was around when the CIA was doing what was it, Project Paperclip, and 50 years ago he was in there. He was in government. He was one of the ones that probably knew about it. Where what was it, Operation Paperclip, where they were going around and trying to get all the waves, the companies, media sources, radio sources to say the same thing. That's what he's talking about. I hope it's correct, Operation Paperclip. If not, let me know.
There's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on.
Curb the entities. Us, Glenn Beck, Tim Pool, Sean Hannity, anyone against them, Patrick Bet-David, you name it, Joe Rogan. Curb this group of people.
Facts, et cetera. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and, has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So
you heard, did everyone just hear? They give away the game all the time. If you just listen to what these people say, they give it away. Now, everyone go to ALX's Twitter, X, and bookmark that. Bookmark that. Because the next time you're talking to your leftist fucking friends, family members, and they say something like, no. We believe in the Constitution. We're the same as you. We just want some different things. We are compassionate. Turn this motherfucker on. Turn Hillary Clinton on the other day and listen to them say this. The First Amendment gets in the way of us being able to stomp out things that we don't like, that we deem misinformation because it's not our narrative. Go ahead, Dave.
Really quick, Paperclip was when they took German scientists.
What's the one where it's not Paperclip? What was the one where there was one where the CIA just tried to get all the media in line?
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember it right now.
I'm sorry. So Paperclip wasn't the right one, but CIA just does what CIA does. Okay. So I just want people to understand what John Kerry is saying, and I want people to bookmark this. Go to ALX's page. It's not hard to find. Scroll down before he posts another 7,000 things.
Mockingbird.
Mockingbird. That's it. And that makes more sense. Mockingbird. Because they're all saying the same thing.
You plant pro-U.S. propaganda, American media, and front organizations.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, they're giving away the game here. So let's see if we can get through this.
So, what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hopefully having winning enough votes that you're free to be able to implement change. Now, obviously, there are some people in our country who are prepared to implement change in other ways, and
so
that's
you're
really
questioning
dangerous.
really if democracy can survive unregulated social media.
I think democracies are very challenged right now, and have not proven they can move fast enough.
They say this shit all the time. Thank you, Nate. We appreciate you, Mockingbird. And it has to be a red flag. And anybody that agrees with this is un-American. They don't believe in the Constitution. They don't believe in our republic. Because anyone that reads the founding documents, Federalist or Anti-Federalist, both agreed that republics should move slowly, that they should be in gridlock more often than they are in motion. Because, and that is why they put 66%, a 2/3 threshold to create law, a threshold to create amendments to the Constitution, because we are not supposed to move swift. Dictators move swift. Totalitarians, authoritarians move swift. Republics move slow because it is the protection of the minority, so we don't have the rule of the majority. It is democratic only in the sense that we elect our representatives. This is not a true democracy where the majority rules, because democracies can also move quick. Because if you have a majority, a simple majority in a true democracy, they can push in all their agenda while they have power, and they can eliminate the minority and silence the minority. This is what they're pushing for. They might not push for outright dictatorship right away. They might not say it, But when they talk about democracy, they're talking about direct democracy. And when John Kerry's saying that democracies are challenged because they're moved too slow, he's saying that the representative republic that we live in is a challenge. He wants to eliminate the republic side of it, and he wants to make it a direct democracy. We have another 10 seconds.
Or big enough to deal with the challenges that we are facing. And to me, that is part of what this race, this election is all about. Will we break the fever in the United States? And
so this fucking guy, honestly, just wants direct democracy. And he's given away the game. The government's not big enough. The government doesn't move fast enough. He wants an implementation where we have a direct democracy or control. He just wants full control. He wants dominant power in the Senate, the House, and the presidency. So no executive orders are challenged. And we know the deep state bureaucracy is just going to do what they say. And it is scary that that individual has any sort of power. And he's at a climate thing. The fuck's he talking about? The First Amendment and disinformation on a climate thing, okay? It is terrifying. Dave, what do you have to say? I said a lot there.
I mean, you basically said it all, to be quite honest with you. The good thing is that most people don't really care about John Kerry. That's the good thing.
He's an asshole.
And another good thing is that what he is saying has been losing steam time and time again recently. More and more people are waking up to it in some kind of manner. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah.
And that's partially the reason why you're seeing Trump kind of skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing him gain more and more support from different avenues of people because people are getting tired of the same shit that he's saying that they're hearing from everyone else that's rank and file in that type of area.
Yeah. No, it is it's true that, and that's why Trump's coalition is growing. And even though some of the people in the coalition terrify me, it is necessary. And thing is too, like, this should be a runaway election with the coalition that he is getting together. There should not be enough people in this fringe minority, because that is what the leftists have become. They have become a fringe minority, and something is absolutely fucking wrong. Absolutely wrong if they can gain any semblance of power anymore. After what we've been through and after what we've seen, after everything they say, and after I understand there's some people, small minority group of people that are just ignorant and will constantly vote because it's just blue no matter who. And listen, there's some assholes that go red forever too. Bad Republicans that suck, right? People voted for Dr. Oz.
I was gonna say, voted in.
I might have voted for John Fetterman, to be quite honest, because Dr. Oz was a fucking abortion absolutionist. Fuck that guy. But I mean, it's crazy that people like him, and here's the thing, he has the right to say it. I will come out and say John Kerry has the right to say everything he says as an American. Now, when his people push what they push, when they take away free speech, then I'll go on board with that. And then John Kerry needs to shut the fuck up. But for now, he can say whatever he wants because he's American. He's free to say it. And listen, Glenn Beck says this all the time, and a lot of people say it. When your enemy, and I'm not saying John Kerry's an enemy in terms of like eliminating him, political enemy. When your enemy tells you what they believe and tells you what they want to do and go to do, don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Listen to them. John Kerry's saying what they want right there. And that is not only him, that is the Obamas, that is the Bidens, that is Kamala, that is everyone down the line, the Pelosi's, AOC's, Bernie, all of them. So please pay attention. Dave, do you have any more stories on your end?
Yeah, I actually have one discussion we could have.
Yeah.
Because I already have what I want to say about it.
Oh, okay.
But the question is, what video game do you think deserves a remake? Now, this is saying that it would get a good remake.
Okay.
Obviously, this isn't like some long article. This is a small thing. It's mainly about the question. What video game do you think deserves a remake? I'm not going to make you say yours immediately because I know I brought this up to you, but you probably didn't think about it very much. So I'm going to let you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you think about it for a bit. This guy, actually, no, this chick, C.H. Casey, said she wants the old PS2 classic Rogue Galaxy to have a remaster. Pretty good.
That's a pretty good choice.
Pretty good choice. Now, for me, especially because I just played the sequel to it, which I would want the sequel as well to be remade, but American McGee's Alice. American McGee's Alice in Wonderland is a good ass game. I've only played so much of it. Unfortunately, I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
But I just played Madness Returns again because I have that for the 360, and I love the fucking game. Now, there's issues with it. Sometimes it can get a bit repetitive, but the environments are incredible. The platforming is fun, and the action is fun, and just the whole thing about American McGee's Alice is so awesome. Learning the Law even posted about it today. Today. Yesterday, I guess. And he said the thing about hyper realistic graphics, Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Nate, this is your second time bringing up Conker's Bad
Yes.
Fur Day. We need to get someone to help you out there.
Yes. Battlefield Vietnam. Yes. But he said the thing about hyper realistic games is that they'll eventually be replaced by new technology, and sometimes they can age badly. But the aesthetics of a game like Alice Madness Returns will stick with you forever. And I do want to play this.
This was
because
a good game.
I want people to see how fucking nice the environments are in this game. And like, obviously, it's referencing everything about Wonderland.
Yeah.
And it has so many different elements to it that all the levels that you go through she wears a different dress for everyone. And I don't know, the game really sticks with you when you play it.
Yeah.
You remember so many things about this game. And I would love to see those be remade because I haven't had too many good platforming fighting, like beat 'em ups to play, at least not a lot of great ones recently. Obviously there's some indie ones that are probably really good. Like I've seen Hi-Fi Rush, if I remember correctly, that got a lot of praise. I wasn't able to play it. I will play it at one point, but I love those types of games, and especially when it has a good style to it. You don't need some crazy good graphics. You just need to have fun with the game.
So I have 3, and 2 of them are series, like a full series.
Mhm.
1, the NFL Hits Street NHL Blitz series.
Okay.
Bringing them back, remastering, new players, good graphics,
Mhm.
keeping all the same fun gameplay, but imagine bringing it back with the current crop.
Mhm.
Tyreek Hill
That'd be fun.
and that would be fucking so much fun. Patty and things like that.
Yep.
Josh Allen will be a freaking giant quarterback that kills people. Like
Yep.
it would be fun. That would be fun. Lamar would be unstoppable.
Oh, it'd be so
in
stupid
NFL
in that
Blitz,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Unstoppable. So that would be fun bringing that back. The second series, and it's kind of a partial series thing.
Mhm.
I would want them to remaster the original Grand Theft Autos, but instead of top down, bringing them into the real world. Your Grand Theft Auto 1, your London 1969, and Grand Theft Auto 2, kind of bringing them to 3D. And even if you want to make 3 and polish it up and things like that, but even though 5 was kind of polished up, Grand Theft Auto 3, Liberty City was there.
Yeah.
Everything you remembered about Liberty City was there and more. So yeah, I'm thinking the first 3 Grand Theft Autos that were all top down, give me now a 3D virtual type of like, you know, your normal ones. I think that would be a lot of fucking fun, and especially if but keep the same elements, keep it all about respect, keep the groups there, keep a lot of the same exact things that you were trying to do, but now just truly open it up, make it fun. And the last is the original God of War. Give that a beautiful remaster, update those graphics, those fight scenes, those movements, with, you know, the new Unreal Engine with that would be fucking spectacular. And yeah, if you give me a God of War, bring God of War back, that'd be beautiful. I feel like I was thinking Metal Gear would be a cop out to say the Metal Gears, for me.
Yeah, I mean, well, Snake Eater is getting.
But for me, like, it would be a cop out for me to be like, bring back the original Metal Gears, make their graphics back, because everyone knows I love Metal Gear. But yeah, but people probably don't know that my first 2-3 God of Wars, I was a fucking psycho for. I love those. I spent countless hours going through those puzzles and beating all 3 of those games. But the original God of War, especially, which was as impactful as a game as you can get, because the first God of War kind of changed the game, and that was at a time where PlayStation needed that shot in the arm. Because Halo was beating the fuck out of them. Gears of War was just ravaging through. Crash and Sony people, Crash and Spyro people were getting older, and God of War was that answer for that crowd that's now in high school that needs it. And then boom, here you go. You have Kratos, fucking bitches, jumping off of buildings, hacking the shit out of things, like. And then you also get The Witcher and coming in, and The Witcher is another one that was amazing. Not a PlayStation exclusive, but just like in that same vein. So that's my group. I think it's a fun answer. I think it's a fun question.
It is a fun question. I guess I'll throw a couple more in there. Obviously, I love Bioshock. Well, maybe not obviously to people watching, but I love Bioshock.
I mean, show them your wrists.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Bioshock, and it doesn't need a remake.
Siphon Filter.
Siphon
That's
Filter.
Fucking great choice. Nate.
Yeah, that's a really good choice. But Bioshock doesn't need a remake for me. At least I've bought the Bioshock collection multiple times on multiple fucking consoles.
Maybe Fallout 1 and 2 would be good options.
Yeah, but Bioshock could be remade, just upped graphics wise. It would be fucking gorgeous. And I love Rapture. I love everything about Rapture and everything about that game. I think it would look awesome if given like a real improvement in graphical quality.
Yeah.
And then another game that I love, yet again, doesn't need a remake, but if it was upped in graphical quality and they actually kept it to how it was when it first came out, is Twisted Metal Black. I fucking love Twisted Metal Black.
We spent
such
hours
a fun game
playing that game and using the cheats, so our homing missiles killed everything.
Yep. But it's such a fun game. The characters in that game are so fleshed out. Everyone has such a fun story to them.
Pamphlet was so much fun.
I always bring it up in conversations, but instruction booklets aren't a thing anymore. The games have lost their charm in a way of building out the world that didn't just come with the game.
And it's not just that too. If you look at all the things, remember CDs, you would get all the track listings, and some of them had lyrics. Like that was the coolest fucking thing when you got a CD and every song had all the song lyrics.
All Twisted Metals, obviously. I just love Black because
you gotta do all the Twisted Metals. Rogue Trip, you gotta do Rogue Trip too. Rogue Trip was terrible.
Rogue Trip, so
it had Mighty Boss Stones in it. Blast do it again.
But I always bring up the Twisted Metal Black instruction booklet because that, if I remember correctly, it was written.
It was a journal.
It was written as a journal. If I remember correctly, Crazy 8, and it was really fucking good.
Was it Crazy 8 or was it Leatherface?
You mean Yellow Jacket?
Yellow Jacket.
I'm pretty sure it's Crazy 8.
Okay.
It might have been Yellow Jacket, but I was pretty sure it's Crazy 8.
Okay.
Either way, but it was written as a journal,
Mr.
and he described things in his way.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to just have that. And I mean, you could also include games that include stuff like Grand Theft Auto always gave you a map. I believe Skyrim came with a map, right?
Skyrim came with a map.
But getting those maps to those games so you could actually have a map of where you were going in the game. You could even basically put it up as a poster.
Yeah,
like those types.
I used to.
Exactly. Those types of things that came with games and really gave them a soul, gave you more than just what you were putting into your console. I love that shit. And that's part of what made Twisted Metal Black stick with me, if not also for the gameplay.
I wonder if Sweet Tooth is a mod in Dying Light. If not, they need to, because Sweet Tooth
You mean Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight, yeah, Dead by Daylight. Sweet Tooth should be a mod with all the fucking horror guys.
They don't even need mods. They get so many things included in that game. He's probably not. They might not,
because I know I was watching a video and someone forgot that they put Mike Myers on.
Well, Ghostface is in it.
Yeah, I know. What
Scream, like they have a bunch of really cool killers.
It was hilarious because they were running around and they forgot, and then all of a sudden they heard, and you heard them go, "Oh no, I forgot!" And
yeah, that's fucking great.
Like, no,
yeah,
they just fucking walking after.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth would be a lot of fun in that game.
Like as much as if you're looking for.
He is a PlayStation iconic character.
He's someone to hang their hat on.
Yeah.
And he's someone too that no one would do it right. But if done by the
right person, show, I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of the show. It was okay.
I heard
it wasn't anything incredible. It was Anthony Mack's fine, but it wasn't something that I was like, I didn't necessarily need to watch the rest of it. It was fine.
I did hear that the concept was as good as you could make it in order to get the Twisted Metal element, because the whole concept's not believable.
Exactly. Like yet again, I feel like one of the only ones where you can make a TV show out of it is having Calypso getting all these people out of the asylum in order to do some type of death race, or just death battle. Race. But it's difficult because how are you going to flesh out a character and then kill them, because all of them have a different story. So either way, I thought the show was okay.
The way it would work is if you tournament bracketed it. That would be it. And if you add and you would do like hundreds of cars, You would only have the ones in there that matter.
Actually
Like you would have like Warthog, and you would have
Yeah.
Mr. Grimm, and you would have
Yeah.
Outlaw, and you would have Twister. Like you would have
Yeah.
all these, and then you would have fucking what was the one that was the you would Death Side was the big truck, right? He was
That was Darkseid.
Darkseid. He was the
Yeah.
one of the original like big bads, and then there's
Mhm.
the military thing. That's fucking I forget his
Yeah.
name. But
Yeah.
they could do if I were to do something like that, it would have to be like a one-on-one or even like a 4-car tournament style Twisted Metal thing where there were
There's a
hundreds of
ton
cars,
them, and maybe there's multiple winners,
and you
then
but you
Calypso,
only get to know the
Yeah.
ones from Twisted Metal. All the other ones are throwaway, and they're
Mhm.
and then in the end they all like, now we're down to our final 8 battle
Yeah.
royale, and boom,
Yeah.
here now you're
But,
getting
and that
Twisted
becomes
Metal.
but it's also just difficult
It is,
because like
it is.
who do you have win? Like Sweet Tooth is one that you could have win because he's so iconic, but you could also have other people that have more grounded personalities
But
to come out and win, especially
If
against
it's
someone like
truly Twisted Metal, who wins? Calypso.
Well, yes.
If it's
Well,
truly Twisted Metal,
I think Sweet Tooth kills Calypso. in
let's
his
do
story.
some of them.
But Calypso actually dies in some of them.
In black, and in
Yeah, in
one
black,
of them,
yes,
in
in
one of
black.
them, actually, Sweet Tooth becomes the game master because he
Yes.
kills, and he is the game master for the full
Mhm.
game. And Calypso actually is a participant in the game, which is a twist, and I think that was
Mhm.
3 Twisted Metal 3.
Mhm.
But in most of the time, Calypso just
Calypso
fucks everyone
wins.
over and wins.
Yes. He either fucks them over or he actually gives them what they want, which is surprising at Calypso that does that
If
sometimes.
it's twisted enough, if it's fucked up enough, then
Yes.
Calypso will
Yeah,
do it
like
because he'll
if I
enjoy
remember
it.
correctly, I think it was Junkyard Dog. He wanted to kill the airplane guy, so he actually just got to do that.
Yep.
Like it was just perfectly fine.
Yep. And did Mr. Grimm kill Calypso too? I think Mr. Grimm. No, Mr. Grimm went and killed the scientist because he was stuck inside the hole, and he was a Vietnam veteran, Mr. Grimm. At that
Yes,
point.
yeah, and he had to
He was the
cannibalize.
veteran, and he had to cannibalize, and
Yeah.
he ended up being able to. They strapped him, dude.
Yeah.
If anyone has not got, if you don't play, you don't have to play Twisted Metal Black. Just go on YouTube and just search the Twisted Metal Black cutscenes, and you
Mhm.
will have so much enjoyment. Now it lives up to the name Twisted Metal. I will say that it's lots of fun. Go watch it. And yes, Nate, Rob Zombie, Super Beast will always remind me of Twisted Metal and Edge. Yeah, but Super Beast is a song, and it was perfect because Rob at the beginning goes, "Hey, Calypso," and it just was so perfect with it. That Rob Zombie.
I also like some of Rob Zombie's movies. So,
House of a
like
Thousand
House
Corpses.
of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, they're fucking great.
Devil's
movies.
Rejects. He was he was a pretty prolific,
Yeah.
different style horror.
Plus, I
Or
mean,
horror.
I like a good bit of Hellbilly. Like the album's fucking good. Like Living
Listen,
Dead Girl.
Rob Zombie's fantastic. Okay, and he was really good as White Zombie. More Human Than Human is a great song. People forget that Rob Zombie before Rob Zombie was White Zombie, and made very similar. It's like an experimental metal.
Yeah,
and it's really good. And he rocks as hard as anybody else. And in whatchamacallit, in not in Super Beast, but I think it's in More Human Than Human. The beginning where it's like the girl moaning, it's actually Rob fucking his wife and like recording.
Yeah. No, his wife is in everything.
Which is
she's in everything, and she's willing to do fucking anything.
Yeah,
with him, which is awesome. Honestly, them as a couple apparently works really well when it comes to entertainment.
Amazing. And Twisted Metal, that's another good one, Dave. Dave, this is a good discussion. Look at you providing.
And there's honestly a discussion you could have like every fucking week. To be completely
I know
honest,
we could always bring this up, but you know what? It's nice that I'm actually making you work to be on the show finally.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. You are providing. You provide. All right.
I will not be here tomorrow night. So.
Oh no, I'm going to be on my own. I lightly
Oh,
listen to
newer
newer Zombie. Did he have new stuff? Nate?
I didn't even. He might not. He might have new stuff. I didn't realize.
New. All right. Let's get to the last bit of stuff here. First, let's talk about boys that want to be girls, shall we, Dave?
Most of the time, I don't want to, but sure.
No, we're doing it. So, this was the first thing that caught my eye. Was this article from Outkick? SJSU's Brooke Slusler speaks out on a fight against NCAA. Title IX exists for a reason. It's an Outkick exclusive. This was from the 30th, a few days ago. Brooke Slusler. Brooke Slusler is the setter and co-captain of the San Jose State University women's volleyball team and the current teammate of Blair Fleming. Blair Fleming is a trans-identifying male whose sex was hidden by the school for nearly 2 years. Dave, this is already fucked up, right? Okay. Class action lawsuit, originally filed in March and funded by the Independent Council of Women's Sports Icons, states that the NCAA has knowingly violated Title IX by allowing transgender athletes to compete against women and to use women locker rooms in collegiate sports. Slessler joined in on Riley Gaines' lawsuit, which has a whole bunch of other women going against it. So here's her quote, one of them right here. It's crazy to say, but it was an easy decision for me to join because it's something I truly believe in. And it's been easy because all the support I'm getting, 99% of it is just love and encouragement. So for me, it shows that I made the right decision to join. This is something that so many people do care about. It's just that so many people are scared to talk about. And you know what, young lady? Good for you. Especially being a teammate, having to share the court. It is, I mean, it's hard. It's hard, and it really does potentially put you in a spot to alienate. But when we tell you, we are all behind you, Brooke. You have an army behind you of people that believe in what you're doing. I'm a father of 2 young girls. What you are doing is going to benefit my children. So I am behind you. Brooke, we would love to have you on the show to talk about this because you're brave as shit. And we think that you are awesome. So, Blair Fleming is a redshirt senior, previously played at Coastal Carolina University. I wonder if they were a male or female when they played there. They don't include that. And has played for San Jose State University women's team for the past 3 seasons. Past 3 seasons. The school initially hid the fact that the 6'1" outside hitter was born a male and withheld the fact from Slessor as well. Slessor transferred from Alabama in 2023. And she began a residence with her 4 teammates, including Fleming. She was assigned a room with Fleming, who specifically requested her on road trips. So it sounds like this motherfucker is autogynephilia, the same exact thing that who's the goddamn swimmer?
Lee, I don't want to say
something Thomas.
Yeah, it's Leah Thomas, but I want to say his actual name.
His real name. At no point during the recruitment, nor in the 2023 season, was Slessor informed that a male athlete was on the team. Quote, it was a really hard pill to swallow because I couldn't comprehend the fact that there was a man on the team, and it was almost as if I was in denial for a really long time it was happening. So it was just really hard for me to wrap my head around. And then it's still being a topic. We weren't really allowed to talk about it. It was
William Thomas.
Okay. It was just kind of whispers behind closed doors that this is what's happening, but no one's really talked about it or addressed it. Let me see. Did it give us Blair's biological name? Did I run over it? No, I think it
no, probably not.
It does. No, well, Outkick does give it. Outkick doesn't give a shit. This is Clay Travis.
Yeah, that's true. But
this is Clay Travis's company. They do give it at some point because I do remember reading it at some point when I was reading the article. So once you became aware of the biological sex, the athletic department discouraged them from speaking about the issue publicly. Essentially, the school laid a guilt trip on the volleyball players, suggesting it was their responsibility to protect their male teammate from public scrutiny. Fuck all of these people. Fuck San Jose State University. Fuck every single person there. They all deserve terrible things to go on to them because you are putting women in danger. Nobody cares about women anymore. They talk women in sports is bullshit, okay? Because nobody gives a shit about any of these girls in their sports. They are willing to put them in harm's way with a male. And let me tell you, if you ever watch the difference between a women's volleyball game and a men's volleyball game, they are 2 different fucking games, basically, okay? Because the men jump higher, they hit harder, and they are just significantly stronger with their serves and hitting in general. To allow an individual, I don't give a shit if they're taking hormones. He still has the body structure, has the muscle mass, and has the bone set density of a male. You are asking girls to get hurt. So it's insane. So here's another quote from her. It was more so the school only supporting Blair. They didn't really seem to want to check in on us. Basically, you shouldn't be the person to identify Blair's gender identity. That's something that Blair needs to do, and it's not you. That's not your story to tell. Fuck all these people. But we all have a story too. This isn't just something that Blair's going through. This is something I'm going through too, and my teammates. I have so many emotions and questions, and I don't know how to voice them. I'm sorry, Brooke. You are now a bigot. Like, that's it. You're now a bigot.
I should look into locking in some Spartan volleyball. I mean, yeah, why not? Fucking make your money while you can.
Do it, because here's the next thing. They're 10-0. I don't know what they've been since this article. They probably had another game since, but they're 10-0. And Fleming has the second most total kills in the team, 119, which is actually embarrassing that they don't have the most. And kill sets per rate at 3.72. So, and she even says, Slussler, she can't imagine being a 17-year-old girl so excited to play D1 volleyball. And then 2 weeks before you're supposed to get here, you find this out. And then you're locked in. You can transfer, but you're still locked in. So, oh my God, I didn't watch this video. Let's see what this looks like with her playing. Him, her, whatever the fuck you are, you weirdo. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, I wasn't looking.
Hold on, dude. Watch. So look at the hit on the outside. That's fair.
What did you say the record was?
10-0.
Why does it have a 9-0 here?
This is what you want to expose women to. And here's the thing. Women aren't defenseless. Women could do their thing. But against other women on a fair... Here's the thing. If that individual was one of those rare situations where they show mostly male and they are female and this and that, you have an argument there, right? That boxer has an argument because apparently they are still a female. Whether or not we should allow biological females that show mostly male in sports, that's a real argument to have, litigating law, things like that. This is not that situation. This is somebody just claiming to fucking be it. And it is insane. It drives me nuts. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what this dude's name is. So Slussler joined the lawsuit. And this is what she said. If I have daughters and I had to sit there and watch them play against a male player or be on a team with a male player and knowing that I could have done something about it and didn't, I think it would be a really hard situation for me to end up in. So it's not even about me personally. It's about making a change for the little girls who are going to be playing sports for all these years to come, being able to protect them. Bravo. Bravo. This young lady gets it. And this is not a girl anymore. She is a woman. She's a grown woman making real grown woman decisions. There's Riley Gaines here. Slusser joins them and blah, blah, blah. And they said it's about so many other people than just us and the people who are going through it right now. And that's why I think it's so amazing that so many girls have been able to join the lawsuit, because it's not just fighting to protect themselves. It's being able to protect everyone in the future. Every little girl that's going to grow up and play volleyball one day too. And so San Jose State should be embarrassed, okay? But wait, there's more, Dave. There's more, because it's not just Slusser.
I know you want to read
that gives a shit. What does it say? I'm 100 on your side in protecting women's sports. A part of me would like to see what the corn-fed queens in Nebraska volleyball would do against them. Listen, the corn-fed queens cannot be denied. Okay, so we're gonna stop sharing.
Corn-fed diet, man. That's fucking terrible.
We're gonna stop sharing this one because there's an issue here, and this is what people need to do. So this was from this article here was from September 14th. Southern Utah refuses to play San Jose State volleyball, which has a transgender player. Let's see. Can we find what this fucking dude's name is? I'm so mad. What is this guy's name? I'm going to scroll through. Dave, say something about this because it's pissing me off.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is the normal backlash that should be happening against this type of shit.
Braden. Their name is Braden. So as Braden Fleming, your name is not Fleming.
I mean, I would change my name if my name was Braden. So, I mean,
I might be a girl if my name was Braden, to be quite honest. You know what? I take it back. Your parents fucked you, Blair. You need therapy. Your parents named you Braden. What the fuck is wrong with the... I'm sorry. Anyone that's offended, I hope your name isn't Braden out there. Anyway, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, no, but this is the backlash that should be happening because this is nonsense. It's always been nonsense when it's been brought up. And the thing is, it has a stranglehold on the ideology. This is what
go ahead. We're gonna watch this as it happens. You talk.
Because ESPN says absolutely fucking nothing about this. ESPN, in fact, supports this stuff most of the time.
It's a joke.
And if you just live life normally, you know the type of discrepancy in power between men and women. You know that all the physical abilities that men have in general that are better than women in general, and even the mid-average men against the top women,
lower tier men.
Yeah, exactly.
You look at William Thomas was 240 something as a male.
Yes.
Is now one of the top 2 in as a woman.
Yes.
Quote unquote.
And the thing is, and every fucking transgender activist, the ones that hate everyone that's not queer in some sense, will make the argument that, yeah, but they're not winning everything. You know, they lost to this person. That's not the fucking issue.
Nope.
I know some people want to make it the issue and they want to frame it that way because it is unfair in the physical aspect. But the issue is not only that it's unfair, it's the fact that you're going to hurt someone.
Yes.
100%. You're going to hurt someone, even if it's a fucking accident, because just falling on someone in some manner, whether you tripped and fell, but you're teammates with each other, will hurt them more than if a normal woman just fell on.
If you ever been in phys ed and you're playing with girls and maybe you're
Yes.
playing basketball or something and you run into them as opposed to running into another dude, you feel the difference.
Yes. So there's no fucking argument of, well, they're losing too. No, it's a nonsense thing to try to frame it that way. You need to separate the sexes because there is genuine physical discrepancy between the two sexes, and you can't have them just trying to play with each other. It doesn't work that way.
But wait, Dave, there's more, because recently there was Boise State that joined in on this. On September 27th. Boise State women's volleyball forfeits upcoming match against San Jose State U. Trans player Braden with a Y. Braden Fleming exclusive. Okay. Here's the thing that I missed out because I missed over this and I read it with Slusser. She did make a point because she was saying, listen, don't put it on the athletes that are still playing. Because number one, this is her last opportunity to play volleyball. She's not going anywhere after this. She's done. She can't transfer again either. And for a lot of these young ladies that are there, this is their only opportunity to play volleyball. They can transfer. Some of them can't. Some of them have transferred. So they have no choice in a way. And they are kind of being forced to play the sport that they love. They continue to play. They're playing D1 ball.
Yep.
They should not have to be forced into this. So Nate over here, I didn't even read it, but let's put it on the screen because I don't care. 99.999% of those tranny activists know absolutely nothing about sports or even care about sports. I've seen quite a few of their debate panels on this. They make Destiny look based.
Yeah, no, it's not surprising. And I wouldn't even actually be surprised if Destiny fucking debated some of them, because as insane as Destiny is, because he's still actually saner than a lot of other leftists that are further to the left of him. It's actually incredible to watch.
Destiny is just hurt so bad.
Yeah,
because he's cucked himself and he can never go back.
The cuck king.
The cuck.
Him and Jack Murphy.
Him and Jack Murphy. And you know what, Destiny? Rob Noor keeps kicking your fucking ass in debates.
Keeps touching him.
Can you just agree? Go talk to whatchamacallit, Keem, and just go be a lolcow. You already are without being on the show.
I mean, he was on there to call out Boogie.
Agreed.
He was correct in doing that.
He was correct. But you also, dude, go host it, because we are all already lolcowing. Like you are already a lolcow. We're already laughing at you. Okay, just go do it. Rob just keeps kicking your ass. You're a terrible debater. When it comes to Rob, he just fucking destroys you. And here's the thing too with Destiny, and this is a little aside. We're gonna get off of San Jose over here. A little aside, but Destiny is a moron, because this is right after he gets a little bit of goodwill from the right, because his interview with Jordan Peterson was not that bad. Did you watch when Jordan Peterson did a podcast with him?
No, I didn't feel like watching it.
I listened to it. It wasn't terrible. It made that, you still disagreed with Destiny, but it's kind of the way that he was when he used to go on Tim Pool's things and stuff like that, where reasonable enough, right? Has some foundation to why he's saying what he's saying. he has divulged so much. Yeah, you're right. Destiny gets bulldozed anytime he debates anyone serious. Dude needs to stick to single A ball. That is Twitch debaters. And yeah, Nate, we've had Rob Noor on the show. We're gonna have Rob on again. Rob's awesome. Rob debates Destiny all the time. And Rob actually, I think it's Normal America is what he has. That's his YouTube. Go over there. I'm pretty sure it's Normal America. Go over there and go give Rob a subscription because he's fucking awesome. And he does really cool debate panels where it's just open and they're having good spirited debate, left, right, center. Go support him. He's awesome. Dog Peterson dog walked and made him look. At times he did because Peterson's smarter than most people, but it was also more of Peterson's also fair. So he's going to give Destiny a chance to either bury himself or dig himself out. And I thought Destiny at times wasn't terrible in that one. All right, so let's go on to our last thing before we get out of here. We're almost up to 2 hours. We're going late after a show, but I don't care. I'm having fun. This is an important one. And this is one that's been covered by a ton of people. Oh yeah, Nate, you found us through Rob. Awesome. That's sweet.
Yes. Yeah.
Nate, you're the man. So right here, this is a big story. This has been covered by a lot of places so far, and we're going to cover it. 66,000 illegal immigrants at larger criminal records in the interior, including 13,000 convicted killers, 16,000 convicted of sexual assault, and 56,000 involved with dangerous drugs. Now, we're going to couch this because the way it's been reported by conservatives is that they are just roaming in and they came across right away. Mm-hmm. These numbers have been over decades. Okay, so fair. Fair is fair. Numbers have been over decades. This is not all on the Biden Kamala regime or the Obama or the Trump, or this is decades. Mm-hmm. But there is a quote in here. If I can find it. It may be shocking to hear that the Biden-Harris administration is actively releasing tens of thousands of criminal aliens into our communities, but their own numbers conclusively prove this case, said Mark Green, committee chairman. So he's going to say it. There is an individual on here that talks about that it's been over decades, but there is Jessica Vaughn, a policy studies director at the Center for Immigration Studies, who has been tracking the data over years, said the latest numbers mark a substantial increase compared with the last decade. So while not all the numbers are on them, the substantial increase is on them. So it is putting up the fact that, and this is from Washington Times. So they are, they're writing this story, and it's crazy that anytime you're walking amongst anyone like that, like in that sphere, there's a chance that they're a convicted criminal. Now, they'll like to say this, and I heard this on Glenn Beck, that the argument is only 10% are convicted, or maybe only 1 to 2% are murderers or rapists. That's too much. That's already too much. They're already criminals by coming in. And these mean that the ICE sitting there knowingly are going, hey, you are a murderer. You have to report. Bye. Letting the murderer in.
That's the thing is, look, those arguments can be 100% true. I have no reason to go against those arguments of, it's only 10%, 1%, 2%. They actually do less murder than natural-born citizens. All those arguments could well and good be true.
Yep.
That's perfectly fine with me for them to be true. Because the issue isn't that it's smaller or that it's a small percentage. The issue is that these are people that shouldn't be in this country in the first place. These are actually added numbers onto natural-born citizens. These aren't some numbers that you pair against natural-born citizens. These are added numbers.
Yes.
These are numbers that shouldn't have been allowed in the first place.
Agreed.
So any other argument other than why are they here in the first place doesn't fucking matter to me, because everything is just addition. It's all just addition for what they're actually committing and what they're doing. And even for those that don't even commit a crime, it's all addition on what house they're buying, on where they're staying, on what kind of groceries they're getting. It's all addition on top of what natural-born citizens are doing.
Yep.
So all those arguments are fucking moot to me. I don't care what their percentages are. I don't care any of that stuff, because they just shouldn't be here in the first place.
No, they shouldn't. And this is a quote from acting ICE director Patrick Leckleitner. Get a real name. Leckleitner. Liquor. I got to get that one too. That's a good one. That's going to be a clip of ours. You lit liquor. Okay. Sorry. Yes, I'm working on clips for this show. We're going to become a proper goofy ass podcast like everyone else. So there's a quote. ICE takes other factors into consideration as well, including when a non-citizen, fuck you, criminal alien, including when a criminal alien, sorry, I just ticked on, I had a nervous tick there, including when a non-citizen has a serious medical condition, who gives a fuck? Let them go die in their own fucking hospital in their own place, is a primary caregiver of minor children. That right there has not conservative media, has not Donald Trump, has not Sound of Freedom, has not Operation Underground Railroad been screaming that children are being used to get people that are criminals into the interior. And what were you being called? What was happening to Sound of Freedom when they were calling this out? They were wrong. You were a bigot. You're a racist. These are hardworking people. When right here, an ICE director that is trying to now couch this in a nice word is telling you flat out that a criminal coming in with a child claiming to be their primary caregiver is being allowed into the interior. That is part of the criteria. And the last criteria, or other humanitarian considerations. What the fuck is that?
What the hell is even that?
What the hell? What is other humanitarian considerations? What about our humanitarian considerations? That we like they said, okay, there are more domestic born people that commit crimes and murders. So don't fucking add them. We have enough.
Exactly.
Don't add more to the problem. Listen, and if you taste something and it's spicy and starting to burn your mouth, you don't sit there and grab more red pepper flakes and fucking pour the whole bottle in. Like, that makes no sense. If it's already burning you, you don't then make your mouth on fire unless you're a sadomasochist or ordering from Cluck You and getting the 911 wings, which is a great story. But it makes no sense, Dave.
Well, that's the most annoying thing, is that when it comes to this discussion about illegal immigration, it's almost treated as a fucking natural disaster, as if it's normally just going to happen, as if all these people are just normally going to pour in. There's not much we could do about it. That's how it's discussed. Yeah. Like, all of this framing around it is really stupid, when you could just act like a normal nation, a normal state, and just say, no, we're not going to allow people in. Obviously, people might find a way in, but you can drastically reduce the numbers to very little. It's just weird that it's framed in a way as if it's just going to happen. We just have to live with it and find a way to deal with it. No, the way to deal with it is to send people back and not let people in unless they come legally.
Yeah. And Nate over here is saying there's no category for illegal that commit crimes. They don't ask when they arrest you. Now, is this in Arizona? Because I don't know if that's nationwide, Nate. I know you guys are fucking feeling it in Arizona. You guys are basically a border state at this point. But they're coming into you guys. So it's pretty crazy. So they end off, he didn't mention it, but in a Supreme Court's 2001 ruling in the Zadvyas case, they imposed a limit on how long migrants, fucking criminal aliens, can be held in immigration detention. The justices ruled that if deportation doesn't seem likely, a criminal alien couldn't be held indefinitely. So here's the problem, though. Why aren't they just getting deported? You killed somebody. You raped somebody. Get the fuck out of here.
Catapult them into the sun. I don't fucking care, dude. They shouldn't be in the country.
And this just adds to Donald Trump's point going back to 2015 that they are sending us their worst. They're sending us rapists, killers, gang members. Okay, not all. I don't care about the ones that aren't. They are still committing a crime, okay, by walking in here illegally. So I don't give a fuck if they are granny. They are criminals. They're coming into my house without asking my permission and just kicking the fucking door in. Fuck you. Number one. But to add icing over there, if it doesn't seem like it's likely, how hard is it to actually just take the person, put a gun to their fucking head, walk them across the river, and say, if you walk back, I pull the trigger. Keep going.
Countries such as China and Cuba are notoriously bad at cooperating, taking back their criminal migrants, meaning that ICE often has to release those criminals. Send them anywhere else!
You know, like I just think of the scene, and it's fucked up to bring it up here, but when Edward Norton in American History X pulls his shirt and he has the swastika and he's like, means not wanted. I feel like the ICE officials should pull out their badge as they're walking them across and goes, means not wanted. Get the fuck, like, oh my, where's my Ari Gold one when I
Send him to
need it?
fucking
I
El
should have had the
Salvador.
Ari Gold
Bukele
one
will
ready.
take care of him, dude. Like, to do anything. They just shouldn't be
should have
back
had
in the
the Ari
country.
Gold one ready. Get the fuck out. Damn it, for the next show. I need to have it ready. But
Yeah, Nate said it's nationwide. Don't even try to track down the law enforcement side. That's not surprising.
not surprising. At all.
Also says Venezuela's cracking down on that hard on their gangs. That's why they're running here. Yeah, they know Denzel Calderon. 100%.
Well,
110%.
It's insane. And we can't go on like this. And the last thing, so this is huge too, because this separates everything. The government has penalties it can impose on the other nations to try and get better cooperation, such as withholding travel visas from government officials and their families, or even a broader segment of those countries' populations. Trump administration regularly uses this power, but there are no indications the Biden administration has employed it with any frequency. That's all you need to know, folks. That's all, folks. That's all. They don't care. They've wanted this because, as has been pointed out,
Destabilizes.
it destabilizes, but it also adds to the census. And when it adds to the census, it adds more House seats. It gives you more delegates. It gives you bigger things like that. So they're looking at this as the long game. They don't need them to vote. They just need the blue areas to split.
Yep.
So if you get 2 blue areas instead of 1, you now add a new House member and you create a bigger majority or whatever it is. You give it yourself a better chance. This is the long game. Democrats are great at the long game. We are retarded on our side. We are reactionaries, which is what we've been labeled as. And it is absolutely true. The leftists call us reactionaries. They are 100% right that the people on the right are reactionaries. But you want to know why we're reactionaries? Because we play by the rules. And when the rules are broken, we react to the rules being broken. And we don't want to break the rules. But then what we need to do is we need to create some fucking new ones and enforce them.
So you also
And when
just
the rules are
the ones that are
broken,
on the books.
just
You
penalize them.
enforce
No. We need to make stricter ones now. Here's the thing.
Yeah, no, you can make 100% make stricter ones, but a lot of things are solved if you just enforce shit now.
Like, here's the
Just
thing.
enforce it.
What it should be is, oh, you're coming over here? Oh, do you have a criminal record? Oh, don't worry. You could tell me. Oh, you're a murderer? Wall. Get on the fucking wall right now. Oh, you don't want to go to wall? Turn around. Either I murder you against the wall or you go back to wherever the fuck you came from. 2 options. I don't even have to spend money deporting you. The only money I have is on my bullet and the grease. That's it. Get the fuck out of here. Like, this isn't hard. I'm an asylum seeker. My country might murder me. Well, so will I. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't care. And that's the issue too. All they have to say, they ask you, are you in fear if you go back to your nation for your life? Yes. You are officially an asylum seeker. It's insane.
Yeah, I know.
All right. We're going to all go to Venezuela soon because all the criminals will be here. So let's just go there. And you know what? Venezuela has a very similar makeup to America and all the shit that they have. They're oil rich. They have a lot of beautiful places. I will learn Spanish. Fucking A, man. All right. We're going to end off on that. That's a great white pill to end off on, Dave.
Yeah,
Right? What do you
really.
think? What do you think? That's good to end off here?
Yeah, good enough. Good enough.
All right, everyone, we've gone for 2 hours, probably too fucking long, but we appreciate everyone that watched today. Nate, we always appreciate you for hanging out.
Yes.
Yes, you got the daily double. Nate, Wednesdays, you probably will be getting the daily double as long as we're not dead after the show and just exhausted. But we're going to try, like I said, we're going to try to be here. David hates me. He won't be here tomorrow, but he has a legitimate reason why he's allowed to not be here. But I'll probably be here just rambling. I might do a few topics. I might rant. I don't know. I might tell Dave to fuck off while he's not here and just make it fun.
Mean.
I am mean. But anyway, we appreciate everyone that watched over on YouTube, X, Facebook, wherever it is. Go do your thing over there. Subscribe, follow, like, share this, everything like that. Share it. Sharing it's important, and spreading a word of mouth is the most important. Tell them we're here every night, basically, and when we're not here, we'll make up for it the next time. So we appreciate everyone. We'll be back again. The Alex Cuesta Show. Go follow us. Find us everywhere. Next week, we have a guest next week? Do we? Let me see. Hold on.
Yes.
I don't even know who we have. Do we really have one? Did I actually do a good job booking?
John Trent.
Oh shit, we do. That Park Place. Fuck yeah. All right, cool. So everyone, we shall see you all tomorrow. I will. David will not be with me, but who knows? Maybe I'll coax someone into